I would have known earlier, what I know now. I wish I would have known a pit of my anger. And I don't think that if I was to recognize it then, I don't think I would have stayed in the relationship at all. Because it was unhealthy, from the start, and it just got worse and worse and worse. But by the time that I realized it, I don't want to say it was too late, because I left the relationship, obviously, but I felt trapped and I felt scared to leave.
Doing that, because women do a lot of research, fellas. They do a lot of research as far as the things that they want to do. They're on fucking Pinterest and shit. They're looking at TikToks. They're on fucking Facebook, whatever social media. They're hearing about shit at the job. They're on websites. They're seeing different things to create the adventure. How can I get my man to be more assertive and lead in our relationship? It's not impossible. It's gonna take a lot of effort from both sides, because more than likely, you're used to being the one to make all the damn decisions now. You know what I'm saying? So what that means is that once a woman feels like you're not fit to lead, she not giving you many more chances as far as that. If we gonna run this shit, I'm gonna run this shit, because I know that it can get done my way, because your way don't seem to work. So what that means is that you're going to have to, one, acknowledge the fact that you're not leading as a man, in a relationship. Understand that you're not being assertive. You have to be honest with yourself initially. And I don't suggest talking over with the woman, because you don't want to show your woman weakness. You do not. She can be aware that you have weaknesses, because you are human, but you do not want to show it. You know what I'm saying? You do not want to lead with that, because who respects a weak leader? You know what I'm saying? It's not to say that you don't have it, but it's all about you don't want to show weakness. And don't get me wrong, there's some women that can be patient. They can be patient with a man if they see effort and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because they come from that. They've seen that growing up. And then there's some women that all they know is a man to be a strong leader. And those are the women, more than likely, that are not going to give you but so much time to make this decision. That's why it's important to have this shit before you even enter a relationship with a woman. And to a committed relationship with a woman, you need to have lessons in assertiveness and, you know what I'm saying, being a leader, you know what I'm saying, leadership skills, because she's not gonna tell, most women that, you know what I'm saying, that are about, you know what I'm saying, about their business, they're not going to waste time to raise you for something you should know. They feel that you should know before entering a relationship with them. So, but what a man can do, like I said, first be honest with yourself. Second, start reading, start learning from other masculine men, what we call the manosphere. You know what I'm saying? Learning from those that are, you know, that have shown to be masculine, shown to lead, shown to be good decision makers, know how to operate under distress and, you know, things of that nature. You're not gonna get it all at once. And even myself am still learning. You know, I still have my own weaknesses, if you will, insecurities and whatnot. But it's all about delivery and all about how you carry it, how you deal with it. Don't project your insecurities onto your surroundings, onto your peers as much as possible. Again, not perfect. No one is. No one is perfect. But the objective is to not project your insecurities onto anybody, as a man, as a woman too, especially as a fucking woman, because a lot of time in our society, it's made it okay for women to project their insecurities and, you know, blame you for like, oh, you talking about my stretch marks or whatever. You're talking about me, I'm fat and all this shit. Like, bitch, ain't nobody thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you for you. I love your fat ass. I love your fucking rolls. Everything. I'm about you. That's why the fuck I'm here. If indeed you felt like you was fat and I'm here with your ass, what that say? That I like your fat ass, okay? You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story. But in all seriousness though, as a man, like the responsibility I believe as a man to become more assertive and more of a leader is to put yourself in situations where you have to make decisions for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Set goals. Stand by those goals. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask her what she wants to do. Now, ladies, hear me out. And as far as like making a date or whatever, what you want to do is value her, right? You want to value your woman. And by that, I mean, ask questions. When you're asking questions, don't do it just because it's the thing to do. Actually, when you talk to anybody, but specifically for, you know, people in relationships, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to heterosexuals right now. Nothing against gays or anything like that, but I mean, I'm sure you can learn from it too. But speaking from my own experience and stuff, and just knowing about this shit. If indeed you are, you know what I'm saying, trying to make a date with your woman, the conversations that you have are pretty much should be cheat sheets. I believe that you should ask certain questions to get to know an individual so that you know what they're into. That way you can come up with a said date, idea, trip, whatever it is that accommodates them. I believe what a woman wants to see is a man make a damn decision. Now don't get me wrong, there's some women where you make decisions and they're like, I don't want to do that. And then, you know, or whatever. However, if that man wants to stay and deal with that bullshit, he's more than welcome to. But, you know, if you're listening, if you're paying attention, again, this is not room for assumptions or anything like a woman should be upset because he didn't do this the way that you wanted to do it, but it never was said out loud. It's something that's where communication comes in. But allow him to make the plans, if you will. That takes stress off of you, you know what I'm saying, as far as doing that. Because women do a lot of research. Fellas, they do a lot of research as far as like the things that they want to do. They're on fucking Pinterest and shit. They're looking at TikToks. They're on fucking Facebook, whatever social media. They're hearing about shit at the job. Like they're on websites. They're seeing different things to create the adventure. And that is what I believe some of us men did not know. You have to create the adventure, man. Like, and don't play it safe either. Fellas, don't play it safe, all right? Take some risks. You're gonna have to take some risks because you want to, I mean, don't try to get nobody damn killed or nothing like that, but I'm sure that's a rush too, you know what I'm saying? Defying death. But what I'm saying is that for us men to take initiative, you know, like be about setting up the date. Within your schedule, because you know you got goals and shit like that. So whenever there's time within the schedule, then you can make the, you know what I'm saying, like then you can make the date. And if a woman values you, she will understand and value the fact that you're out there making moves. You are focused on your purpose. Those are the women that you want to talk to anyway. The ones that want to be all about them, that's so self-centered and just, you know what I'm saying, like fuck what you doing. Focus on me. Bye. Let that go. I promise you. I promise you the universe will send you someone that will value you and your purpose more than her own ego. Like, we're not playing with that shit. Not anymore. It's not fucking happening. You know what I mean? Any inkling of a woman that is making shit about her. Bye. No, we're not doing that shit. Because you gotta understand, in order for this to work and operate in a healthy way, I have to be about my purpose, okay? I have to be about my purpose. You have to value me as the man that you want to be with. You're gonna have to enter my frame. You're gonna have to enter my world. But the whole basis for this conversation, you got to give a woman a world to enter. You know what I'm saying? She has to feel safe. You know what I mean? Even taking risks. More inclined to take risks with you if you create a safe environment for her. You know what I mean? So like being assertive, learning to be assertive, learning how to lead, controlling your fucking emotions as a man, because yes, women can get under our fucking skin. They really can. They really can get under our fucking skin. And who we're really dealing with is our parents at that point in time. When we get upset, we're upset because we're getting triggered by something that has happened in childhood. You know what I mean? And it's just manifesting into the present day. So like whenever I believe this, and again, what do I really know? I was giving my perspective on it, as I love to say. But I believe that there's 2 5-year-olds in the room when I'm yelling at you and you yelling at me. We're not talking to each other, we're talking at each other. So somebody's got to be the fucking adult in the room. So whenever that individual becomes a 5-year-old, you have to be able to calm the 5-year-old. How do you do that? Emotional intelligence. You have to be calm. And you have to, it's like, you know, babysitting your little cousin or something like that, and they just, when I want it down, I want it now. Sit your little ass over there before you get hurt. Before you get hurt, little boy, little girl, you know. But with learning how to lead, like I said, read, decide that this is what you're going to be, because we become what we think about. So start like writing it down. Write down traits of the person that you want to be, number 1. And as you read these things, morning, noon, night, you will then become what you think about, because you're writing down your goals. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as for a woman's effort, if this man has now decided that, you know what, babe, I ain't really been much of a leader. I ain't really been much of an assertive person with things. You know, we'll go to a car dealership and you doing all the talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm got an issue going on in the store and you're the one doing this. You know what? I'm going to step up, right? But you gotta trust me. What you gotta do is, once he decides that, and once you see action, give him a little grace period to show he's moving in you know what I'm saying, like in a positive direction for what you feel is assertive and being a leader. And then you have to allow him to lead. You have to take that risk, because there's really no point for a woman to be with a man if she's going to be the leader. You practically have a son. Let's just call it that, okay? The dynamic is mother-son at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what you want. You get resentful. You start to get turned off sexually because you're not attracted to children. At least, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some crazy niggas out there that might be. But I think you get the point of what I'm saying. So, like, when it comes to trying to better yourself, you have to be willing to take the leap. You gotta be willing to take the leap. But just becoming more assertive, dominance. Read The Unplugged Alpha, number 1. Read The Rational Male. You know what I'm saying? All the books in that series, that'll definitely help you so you can get an idea, because some of us were not raised by masculine men. You know what I'm saying? Or didn't see one. So it's hard to become something that you've never seen. You know what I mean? It's hard to become a millionaire when you've never been around millionaires. You don't know what a millionaire does to become a millionaire. But what you can do is read up about millionaires. You can read up about masculine men. You can read up about assertive men. You can read up about leaders, great leaders of the world. That's why we have books, so they can share what they know. They get paid on the end, but we get the knowledge in return. So you just have to study. Number 1 person that you have to study is yourself. So being honest with yourself, being able to say that, you know what, I haven't been much of a leader. I have been pretty weak. I've been afraid to make a decision. I'm afraid to make a mistake. I'm afraid to fail. So I play it safe and I don't speak up because I don't want to rock the boat. You know what I'm saying? But you have to stop worrying about what people think. That's another thing. That's how you become assertive. Is like learning to not care what other people think about it, and you just decide that this is what you're going to do. And the reason why we care what people think is because we're tribal individuals. So like, if you did not go with what the tribe was doing, that meant that you probably didn't eat. And we still have the same brains that we had when we were, you know what I'm saying, like cavemen and Neanderthals, all that, you know what I'm saying, that prehistoric shit. So because we have those brains, we have to retrain it. You know what I'm saying? We have to train the mind that we'll be okay if we don't have this, because there's an attachment to being with the tribe. But learning to live without attachment allows you to live the way you fucking want to. He that dares to do what they want, dares to be brave, is free. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of us aren't living free. We're afraid to make decisions. That's not even just for men. Even women, some people are afraid to make decisions because they fear what others will think of them. Fuck them. Honestly. They got their life just like you got yours. You gotta make your decisions for you. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about anybody else's life. They gotta live theirs. You gotta live yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, be able to make that decision and don't worry about the in crowd either. But so for a man, you know, just to cap up, right? So be honest with yourself, read up on it, apply it, live it, decide this is what you're going to do. You're just only going to get better. The more you read it, the more you practice it, the better off it'll be in your life. You know what I'm saying? And even if that doesn't work out with that woman right then and there, you can decide, you know what, she decided that where she is right now, you're still not there. I'm gonna move on. You're gonna be okay, all right? Feel those feelings, feel that pain that comes with it, because it's something that's happening that you don't want to happen. That's aversion. You know what I'm saying? But once you get through it, you'll be all right. You'll move on. It's not the first person you've been in a breakup with. For most of us, you know, at this age, we're almost fucking 40. We've been in other relationships. We've gone through pain. Some of us have avoided that pain, and it's still manifesting into our current relationships because we haven't dealt with that pain. But for those of us who choose to deal with the motherfucking pain, are able to understand that we can get over said fucking pain. But it takes a lot. It does. It takes a lot, and I'm sure that many people that take that heed those words will be better for it. But read, you know what I'm saying? Be honest with yourself. Read up on it, apply it, but keep studying. Just embody the fact that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to become assertive. I'm going to take, don't be afraid of confrontation. You have to be willing to deal with confrontation and learn how to de-escalate a situation like a man does, not like a child. You know what I'm saying? Children throw tantrums. Adults talk things out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to yell at someone. Don't get me wrong, there's times where you can be assertive and your voice may, you have to assert your voice to a certain volume and shit like that, but not to the point where you're reacting emotional. All right? Express your emotions, do not react emotional. And and like I was saying, as far as like with the guy that, the girl leaves him, okay. So as long as you're working on yourself, continue to work. You will never lose out betting on yourself. Working on yourself is your best ROI. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're never going to go wrong with that by bettering yourself. Just continue to better yourself, and everything will work itself out. Still doing it myself. Like I said, transformation as far as like for the last 5 years, I've gone from this weak beta male, just afraid of fucking anything in life, afraid to take risks, into this more assertive, more masculine. I would say, at least what I've seen so far, a leader, if you will, and taking risks. And I believe that, my mentors, if they can make it happen, obviously for me, they can make it happen for anybody. It's just about applying yourself. It's really you deciding that this is what you're going to do. So with all that being said, in order to for a man to want to be more assertive and want to be a leader, he's going to have to embody that shit. He's going to have to study it. He's going to have to learn what it is. He's going to have to, cram and then apply it. Simple as that. What is the best thing about how your parents raised you? Let me tell you, Cheryl and John gave me so many gems, so many things. Comedy, number one. I'll say that. When you grow up in pain, there's so much that you learn in comedy. And I believe that's not just my family. I think that's everyone's family. You know what I'm saying? Like, we managed to become some of the funniest people just through our own pain. You know, our own individual experiences with pain. And I've learned, like, looking back, I used to watch comedy so much. You know, I would watch In Living Color. I would watch Def Comedy Jam. I would watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin. I would watch, you know what I'm saying, Saved by the Bell, USA High. I would watch, so many, Cosby Show, Different World. I would watch Malcolm and Eddie, Homeboys in Outer Space. What's up, man? Good News, like the UPN shows, like all these things, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was, it eased the symptoms of anything I might have been going through at that time and not even, you know, aware of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just so caught up in the matrix that you don't even realize that you're actually going through some real shit. And you just think, oh, this is life and this is how it's supposed to be. But being able to recognize these things, making changes to said behaviors now as a grown man, it, you know, like what I'm saying is that they taught me how to take on pain and still move forward, right? I also learned how to avoid shit too. Everything's not all, you know, roses and rainbows. I definitely saw a lot of avoidance. I learned avoidance to deal with a lot of stuff that gets too painful. I learned I learned music. You know what I'm saying? Like, my father, if I could take anything away from anything he's ever taught me, it's taught me this love for music. And music, especially funk. You know what I'm saying? Funk, R&B. I could never repay him for what he's done for me. You know, I'm grateful that I'm grateful that my mother wouldn't allow me to play no cussing in the house, because what that did was it made me want to, the only thing I could play was focus on the R&B. So whenever mom would be in the house, you know, as far as in my room, well, I got the door closed, I could play, like, you know, certain shit, but she coming, I gotta turn the shit down. But for, like, it made me focus more about the R&B. So with R&B, me and my little brother, I learned that I can sing, and well, you know what I'm saying? And it's like wanting to become this singer. So growing up in that house, at one point in time, I wanted to be a basketball player. I mean, that's very common in black communities, you know what I'm saying? Like, we want to grow up, we want to go to the NBA, play ball, and all that. But being a singer, so being able to, I thought I was hot shit if I was able to sing the songs that my parents knew. So singing Luther, singing Chic, singing Isley Brothers, singing, you know what I'm saying, Confunction, you know, like knowing all these records, I felt like I was something, you know what I'm saying? I felt like it was my way to be seen by my parents, you know what I mean? And that music, it has a special, you know what I'm saying, place with me forever. It always will, you know. It's just something, like, again, I like to venture out because I feel like I know this genre. So, like, now I listen to different shit, like, again, classical, spa music, you know what I'm saying? What else? Bossa Nova, jazz, you know what I'm saying? Like, my dad was big on jazz, but I didn't really know. Because I didn't have no fucking words, I wasn't trying to hear that shit. So the music aspect of my parents, they taught me to appreciate gospel, because that's what my mom would listen to. She would listen to gospel, she would listen to Natalie Cole, she would listen to P. Bo Bryson, she would listen to Luther Vandross, Kirk Franklin, you know what I'm saying, Yolanda Adams. And what that did was, again, the inspirational aspect. Like, the way you felt listening, despite how you may feel about God, Jesus, religion in general, you'd be lying if you say you didn't feel anything when you listen to Kurt Franklin songs and Yolanda Adams. Like, you feel something, you know. I don't feel negativity, but you definitely feel something, you know what I'm saying? And they taught me to appreciate the little things, you know what I'm saying? The luxuries in life. They gave me everything that, you know, they couldn't have. Gift wise, material, you know what I'm saying, material shit wise, you know, emotionally, you know, they couldn't give me what they didn't have in that aspect, and they've never seen it, you know what I mean? But gift wise, I'm talking about any fucking game. If I didn't get it when I wanted it, eventually it was gonna show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they worked their asses off. They taught me hard work, man. I've seen my parents work 12-hour days. My father sometimes 16 hours, only to come home, go to sleep for 5 hours, to be back up at 3 o'clock in the morning to head back to the motherfucker. And we're talking like sometimes maybe a week. So just like, and no complaints. Never heard my father complain one fucking time about, you know, working. You know what I'm saying? Find his own ways to, you know, like to deal with that. You know, everybody's got to have an outlet, you know what I mean? But I've never heard my father complain about the job. Truly, I've never really heard my mother complain about like her work either, you know what I'm saying? But like, they really showed me and my brother hard work, you know, as far as like being able to go to work, not making excuses, not calling off, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. So I don't even feel comfortable doing so. You know what I mean? I think it's helpful because that's why you have those days, sick days and all that stuff you should probably take. But like the amount of effort that my parents showed and you know, providing for said family, I couldn't have asked for anything better when it comes to that. They taught me a lot about mental health without even knowing it, you know what I'm saying? Because of the things that they endured and the things that they projected onto us. It was something that was carried over, and then to see it, you know, to have the knowledge for mental health now and being in therapy and seeing how these things were unhealthy for them. Like, only thing they were doing was what was done to them. So you have to forgive anyone for what they didn't know. You know what I mean? And so all in all, I mean, you don't get me today without everything that I've gone through. And I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful to my parents, my family, for that matter, for everything that we've done, you know, getting to this point. So many great memories. I mean, they taught me a lot of things to avoid, you know what I'm saying? Distractions. Yeah, I could say that. It's easy to look at things through the eyes of the parasite. The parasite sees nothing but negativity, but the ally sees the positive aspect of it. And that's something that was taught in Toltec wisdom and the Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. So when I look at what I was able to go through, I mean, I was taught responsibility. I had to look after my little brother, you know, at a very young age. I was taught how to grind, really, you know, truthfully, just how to grind in this world, just working. But what I love about it is the comedy aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, comedy really saved me. And, you know, to be able to have that smile when you feel like crying your eyes out. Growing up in that house, like being able to make a joke out of anything, literally, any of us can do it. It's a gift and a curse, but we can make a joke out of any horrible situation. Now, again, for those that are not really fans of comedy, you're not gonna understand that. I'm not gonna say I'm a professional comedian, but understanding that comedians, nothing is off limits. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just because it's just a good joke. If it's funny, then you say it. I used to tell my daughter that when she was little. I'm like, you can say it as long as it's funny. You know, it's about being, you know, it's comedy. You know, I mean, that's probably a toxic thing, you know, that I said, but, you know, it's a little, it's very broad. It's a broad saying to give to a child because, I mean, they can practically make a joke out of anything, right? But what I will say is that that house, you know, growing up in Suffolk, you know, we moved there in '95. I learned so much living there. Just the hustle and like things that you want in your life, things that you don't want in your life. The how to be loving, I can say that, it's growing up and what we went through, it taught me that I wanted to be more loving out into the world. And wanting, that nurturing, you know what I'm saying? And, it was a bit, it could be overwhelming at times for some women in my past, you know what I'm saying? As far as like being such in dire need for trying to get that love, you know what I mean? But over the years, learned to balance it, not to operate like that of a child, but that of a man. And like I said, I learned all those things, good or bad. It's all about perspective. And that, growing up with, in that house with my parents. So understanding hard work, understanding comedy, understanding, various forms of love. Some healthy, some unhealthy forms of it. But it shaped me who I am today. So just, like I said, grateful for my parents coming together, having me. Grateful for them having my brother, you know what I'm saying? And giving us that, again, a place where we can grow up away from the fuck shit that they grew up around, you know what I'm saying? And that's a really big thing. They taught us, how to be away from like I said, the fuck shit in life that some people had to endure. So, grateful for that. Grateful for, my parents. Yeah, I love y'all. What did you learn a little too late? I learned a little too late that quitting, you quit once, you'll quit for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing for sure. There's many things that I can say, but quitting on, like when shit gets hard, when shit gets rough, and quitting, knowing when to quit and when to keep going is a person's dilemma, I believe, every day. And I know that for me, when shit gets, depending on what it is, looking back at, like my life or whatever, when shit hits the fan, as far as like me quitting the JV basketball team twice, what else? Quitting in video games, certain relationships, not knowing how to deal with confrontation and just ready to roll. And then there's times where I sat in some shit where I should have been gone a long time ago because I didn't want to appear like I was running out again. So quitting, what I learned a little too late is that if you quit once, you quit every day the rest of your life. That's just knowing when to endure and when to walk away, recognizing your value. That's one lesson. What else have I learned too late about being the nice guy, right? Yeah, fuck all that. Being the nice guy and deciding that this is what you're gonna be and you're gonna allow people to walk all over you. And what that means is that you should be kind, you shouldn't be nice. Nice does shit when they don't want to, for people. Being kind is like, I'll do things that are nice, considered nice, but I got boundaries up. So I'm not gonna allow you to just walk over me. You know what I'm saying? And if I find out you got that type of personality, I'm going to back the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And that's all right, because you have to love you more than anybody else does. Truthfully. And if you allow an individual to talk to you a certain way, to treat you any kind of way, that's what you're teaching them. You're teaching them, every time we're around people, we're teaching them how to treat us. Now, there's some positions like at work, you got certain bosses that try to carry themselves a certain way. As long as they don't get too disrespectful, you can endure it. You can endure it or whatever, because truthfully, nothing anyone does is ever about you. It's about themselves and whatever the hell they're going through. But at the same time, you got to have boundaries. Being nice. I find myself giving myself the love that I was trying to give to everybody else. And sometimes that comes off as selfish, and that's okay. You know, I'm all right with that. I mean, I got a life to live just like you do. I'm not here for you. I wasn't here for you. I wasn't here to serve you. I was here to be my own person, just like you. You be your own person. I be my own person. And those are things you learn later in life. You know what I'm saying? Like when you try to be there for everything and everyone, it was a choice that you made. I mean, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. When you say, I'm there for everybody else, but when it's my turn, ain't nobody there for me. You chose to do it. You should have done it unconditionally. Because when we do shit with conditions and we don't get the response that we desired, then we're pissed off. Then we suffer. We suffer from our own expectations, our own entitlement, our own ego. So it's like learning to do things unconditionally. If I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. And no is a complete sentence. You know what I'm saying? No is a complete sentence. When you say that you don't want to do something, respect that. Simple as that. Respect that. Now, it's passive aggressive if I use that moment for a future time and I try to do the same thing to you. You know what I'm saying? And I know my manipulative mind has done that sometimes in my life. It's not something I'm proud of, but you know, I'm honest with myself about that shit. But to be able to like see the growth, but respect people when they say no, that's not what they want to do. Okay, fine, whatever. Like there's so much more to life than this one person. I don't care who that is. You know what I'm saying? Like we live a life of abundance. From, again, looking at where we are in space, everything looks fucking small. You know what I'm saying? Everything is small, it's minute, but in our head we make shit like it's colossal, gigantic, and it's not. You know, excuse me. It's just, it's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like from that perspective, yes, it is. But from looking at shit from space, it's very small. So what are you gonna do? We're gonna stay stuck in our heads forever. I mean, I did it for a long period of time. I felt like I needed someone to show me how to get out of my head. And that person was me the whole time. I was looking around and I did not find anyone that I feel like could show me how to do it because I was waiting on myself. I am the master, Bruce Leroy. But like when you go through life, you see shit, you learn to see shit differently. So lessons learned later in life, being blue-pilled is a recipe for disaster for men. You know what I'm saying? Like being so plugged into the way the Matrix wants men to operate in society, when women are not even attracted to that shit. You think by doing right and being, doing shit by the book is what is going to get you this life that society almost promises you in this Disney world. And to be honest, in my experience, at least what I've seen, and it's shown through research and through books and all that shit, women don't want to be with no fucking nice guy, all right? They don't. They want to be with a kind person who can be dangerous. That's the protection part. It doesn't mean you go around doing, harm to others. But if harm comes to you, then you're able to defend yourself, right? Or if somebody disrespects you, you're able to defend yourself. You're able to speak up or whatever, it is, for you to, respond accordingly and have adventure. But if we're always playing it safe, then life gets boring. You know what I'm saying? And a boring life isn't necessarily bad, but you do want to mix it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I learned a little too late, as far as like how I carried myself in some relationships, with certain personalities. And but nevertheless, it was a great lesson learned to see that shit. What else I've learned later in life? Oh yeah, of course, too late. Still aligned with that, learning how to be masculine, and what that means in the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? Just for you, really for yourself. You just feel better about yourself. and people treat you with more respect than that of the latter, like when you're trying to be nice and you're afraid to rock the boat and shit like that, but carrying yourself with confidence. That's something that has to be like lessons learned too late. You have to treat men, young boys, to be men early on. Teach them how survival skills, and that's that's something I learned a little too late. Survival skills, being a being confident. You know what I'm saying? Like having your emotions in check. That's another thing I learned too late. Emotional intelligence. Like I feel that I believe that emotional intelligence prevents so much. Like it prevents a lot of unnecessary conversations when you have emotional intelligence. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you centered. It protects your peace. So I think that's so dope. And another thing you learn too late is that life is not what TV has shown you it to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from everything, from thinking, like if you watch porn, you think that that's how real sex is. It's not. If you look at TV shows, you know what I'm saying? Like, sitcoms and whatnot, you think that life is that way. It's not. You know what I mean? And it's just programming for some of us to believe that shit. And there's a lot of programming that showed a lot of men in sitcoms where the wife was the rock. She knew everything. And the father was the bumbling idiot. And what do you have in today's society? A society where the women are leading the relationship and the men act like they don't know what the fuck to do. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, there's some men that have been doing it. They were raised properly and more effectively. I wouldn't say properly, but just more effectively than some of us. And they're, they're better off than some of us are because of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not better than, it's just better off, but I think that's so cool that you can see these things, you take time to look back like, damn, now that I've applied this, I'm going to get a different result in an effective way for my life. So, so many things that I learned, like I said, late in life, but I feel like I learned late in life, but truthfully, you learn it when you were supposed to learn. You were supposed to go through everything. It's all part of your story. So, I'm again showing gratitude for every lesson that was ever taught to me in this life. Lessons that I'm still learning, lessons that later on in life to be learned, and just moving forward. But it's helped shaped a lot. Let's just say that. It's helped shape a lot, help you see things a little bit differently. But now that you know these things, you can apply them and, make progress.